Hello and welcome. I am Pranay Upadhyay and you are watching Namaste World, your daily window into the biggest stories shaping India and the world. Nepal could now be heading for a major political shift. Balen Shah, the frontrunner for Prime Minister, and his more cautious stance toward China could reshape Kathmandu's ties with Beijing. But the biggest news of the day, the war in West Asia is now sending shockwaves through economies thousands of kilometers away. As oil prices smash through the $100 a barrel barrier, governments across Asia are racing to contain the damage. All that and more. Global flashpoints, power plays, and the stories that matter. Coming up in this edition of Namaste World. The escalating conflict in West Asia is sending shockwaves through global energy markets, and countries across Asia are already scrambling to respond. Alarms went off when the crude oil prices crossed $100 per barrel barrier. Markets started panicking and governments went into a huddle. Immediate measures were announced by G7 countries to release oil from their strategic reserve, and major oil producer Saudi Arabia has announced to allow spot buying to ease the tensions and keep the oil prices below $100 mark. Oil prices have surged sharply as the US-Israel-Iran conflict intensifies, raising serious fears of prolonged supply disruptions through the Strait of Hormuz. That narrow choke point carries nearly one-fifth of the world's oil supply. For energy-dependent economies in South and East Asia, the stakes simply could not be higher. South Korea is taking its most aggressive domestic action in nearly 3 decades. They are capping the fuel prices and rolling out a 100 trillion won market stabilization program worth around $67 billion. Seoul is also actively exploring alternative energy supply routes that avoid the Strait of Hormuz. In Japan, authorities have instructed a national oil reserve storage facility to prepare for a possible release of crude, a clear signal that Tokyo is bracing for even more market turbulence. Over in Southeast Asia, Vietnam is moving quickly to scrap import tariffs on fuel entirely, a step aimed at shielding domestic supplies from the global price shocks. That measure is expected to remain in place through April. But the crisis is hitting South Asia hardest. In Bangladesh, authorities have closed all universities early and advanced Eid holidays as emergency step to conserve electricity and fuel. In Pakistan, the Prime Minister is set to unveil a major austerity plan with options on the table including work from home mandates and shifting university classes online. The common thread running through all these responses is urgency and a clear recognition that the longer this West Asia conflict burns, the deeper the economic pain will be felt thousands of kilometers away. Nepal is on the verge of a major political shake-up. Balen Shah, a 35-year-old engineer, rapper and politician, has emerged as a frontrunner for Prime Minister's chair. Currently, Kathmandu's mayor, Shah built his reputation by transforming the capital and now leads a youth-driven movement that recently pushed out the China-friendly government of KP Sharma Oli. Unlike Oli, Shah has repeatedly raised concern about Beijing's growing influence over Nepal's sovereignty and economy. If he reaches the top job, it could make a significant shift in how Nepal manages its relationship with both China and India. Here is a report by Farhan Khan.
Nepal could soon see a major political shift, and it may not be good news for China. A 35-year-old engineer, rapper and politician, Balen Shah has emerged as a leading contender to become Nepal's next prime minister. Currently the mayor of Kathmandu, Shah has become a symbol of a youth-driven political movement that recently helped push out the government led by KP Sharma Oli. The rise of Shah represents a sharp contrast to the previous leadership. Oli, the chairman of the Communist Party of Nepal, unified Marxist-Leninist, maintained close ties with Beijing during his time in power. Under his government, Nepal strengthened cooperation with China, including infrastructure projects linked to the Belt and Road Initiative. But Shah appears far more cautious about China's influence. While he has not presented himself as openly anti-China, he has repeatedly raised concerns about sovereignty and the growing role of Beijing in Nepal's political and economic decisions. On several occasions, Shah has used social media to question policies he believes undermine Nepal's territorial interests. For example, during Oli's visit to China, Shah publicly urged him to raise Nepal's claims over the disputed Lipulekh Pass, an area that has long been contested between Nepal and India. Shah has also taken symbolic actions that signal discomfort with Beijing. In 2023, he cancelled a planned visit to China after Beijing released a map that showed territory claimed by Nepal as belonging to India. Shah said the decision was taken on ethical grounds. His stance extends to economic cooperation as well. During election campaigning, Shah removed a China-funded industrial park project linked to the Belt and Road Initiative from his manifesto. The move came amid concerns about its location near India's strategically important Siliguri corridor, the narrow strip connecting mainland India with its northeastern states. However, Shah has not rejected Chinese investment entirely. He has acknowledged that Nepal needs foreign capital for development. At the same time, he has criticized parts of Nepal's political elite for maintaining overly close relationships with Beijing. If Shah becomes Prime Minister, managing this balance could prove difficult.
As a mayor, he functioned very well. Obviously, there were many political parties, and also the press, media, with a number of comments on his style of work and also the way he tried to deliver. But then he was successful, and Kathmandu has changed a lot over the last 3 years, and that served as demonstration for the capacity of Balen Shah. Now he can, he does not need to explain everybody how he delivers and whether he can deliver at all, because he has, changed the face of Kathmandu within 3 years in a way that anybody would be able to recognize.
China remains a major financial partner for Nepal, with infrastructure loans estimated at around $3 billion. Navigating this economic dependence while asserting political autonomy may become one of the biggest tests for a Shah-led government. For Beijing, the bigger concern may be unpredictability. Unlike previous leaders, Shah comes from outside Nepal's traditional political establishment, and that could reshape how Kathmandu deals with China in the years ahead. With Farhan Khan, Bureau Report, India Today Global.
As we wrap up today's show, here's a quick look at the top stories making waves around the world. Russian President Vladimir Putin is declaring unwavering support for Iran in its conflict with the United States, while congratulating Mojtaba Khamenei on his appointment as Iran's new supreme leader. Authorities are investigating an explosion that has damaged a synagogue in the Belgian city of Liege, with officials treating the blast as an anti-Semitic attack. Rescue teams are searching for 4 missing people after a landslide at Indonesia's biggest landfill has killed at least 5. Police are investigating a shooting at pop star Rihanna's Beverly Hills home after a woman fired multiple shots into property, with authorities detaining a 30-year-old female suspect. Iraq's football coach Graham Arnold is urgently appealing to FIFA to declare the country's World Cup playoff, saying the ongoing US-Israel war on Iran has left his players stranded and unable to travel. And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Namaste World. From breakthrough in technology and business to political developments and natural disasters. Stay tuned as we bring you the latest updates, key developments and more from New Delhi to New York. See you again tomorrow, same time, right here on Namaste World.